prime time on the top game, it's a fine line. Man in the match, that's Daveye, he's the main guy, keep a close eye. Make sure you don't make no wrong play, cause I'm with Jose and Andre. And when Cyrus comes to walk in, you better know that you are watching Premier League. Daveye, tell what time we on. Prime time. Let me hear you say Premier League. Daveye, tell what time we on. Prime time.
Hello and welcome back to Premier League Prime Time. I know it just came from the live stream, but this is my own individual, unfiltered, personally, somewhat biased, but as non-biased as I possibly can. My own individual reaction to Manchester United's defeat at Old Trafford yesterday to Arsenal. Firstly, I'd like to start with, all of you were looking for for me to run and to, go crazy and all that. This may not be the bit for you because I'm actually very proud with the way Manchester United actually played. There are a lot more positives and negatives with this match. The better team lost. The better team lost this game, if I'm being completely honest with you. This was not one that I can look at and say, oh, it was all shit. All of it was rubbish. X, Y, Z. No, there's actually a lot of positives to take away from this game. I was very, very, very pleased with a lot of the new performances. In particular, some of our attack as well. But yeah, we'll just get straight into it. Manchester United 0, Arsenal 1. Also, unfortunately, got all 3 points. But for me, that performance from Arsenal was absolutely dreadful. They did not convince me at all whatsoever with the performance. They haven't looked great in preseason either. But I think this match just further magnifies the concerns that you're hearing, a lot of the Arsenal fan base have going into the season. Of course, a win's a win. They got 3 points. They'll have the bragging and banter rights for this week, unfortunately for me. But I mean, look, as a Man United fan, I think there's a lot of positives to take away. I think there's plenty. In defense, in our attack, but the two main problems, which were main problems all last season, when you look at it, the defense. I mean, not the defense, the midfield, and the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper, I don't think we need to. Do we need to talk about it? Really, it annoys me because on my preview with Cecil, which go check out, by the way, if you haven't seen it. What was the one thing that I said to Cecil? What was one of the main things I said? We cannot afford to concede first. If we concede first, yeah, it's gonna be a wrap. Unfortunately, and yeah, by the looks of it, yeah, conceded early from of course, set piece again. Ole 1-0 to the Arsenal. Ricardo Calafiori grabbing the goal. Beating out Bayindir in the air. He couldn't command a 6-yard box, and he ultimately got the deciding goal. I'd say bar Gabriel, Odegaard was okay. I'd say mainly bar Gabriel and David Raya. Nobody really stood out to me when looking at the Arsenal side and made me think, wow, okay. Bukayo Saka, I didn't see him for pretty much the whole match. Gyökeres, talking about Gyökeres, man. I mean, he'll improve Arsenal, but look, I think when looking at it, I think there's a player that Arteta's going to have to maybe change his playing style a bit for. He's not going to be a pressing merchant who's going to run around all the time. That's not his strength. But I mean, Arsenal, at the end of the day, they won. They needed the 3 points. They got the 3 points. They got there. It is what it is. But don't let those 3 points paper over the cracks. Because Manchester United were by far the better side, by far the better team, and they deserve to win. But looking at the Man United side of things, like I said, plenty to praise, but of course, equal amount to be cautious of. I mean, when you look at that midfield, it's a problem. It's a big, big, big problem. Especially with the Carlos Balebe falling through, again, it's going to be a big, 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 massive problem. Especially with the double pivot. As much as I like Casemiro, he's doing what every player in approaching the mid-30s do, which is age, like any human being does. He's not Real Madrid Casemiro of years gone by. As much as I like, as much as I love Cas, we can't have him, starting games every single week. Bruno Fernandes, the captain. I'll get into him later. I'll get into that one later. Mamadou Ugarte. Yeah, I'll probably save that one for later on. But let's go into just the individual player ratings for this game. Shout out to OneFootball for the for the graphics as well. Big them up every single time. And I need to give the credit where credit is due. But looking at this this year, and yeah, it's it's not great. Looking at the 11, which I was shell shocked that the manager chose this team to start the game. Which I definitely wasn't. I was not too pleased about. My streamer is doing a madness. It's moving mad right now. But looking at this team here, this is the team that, of course, started the game against Arsenal. Starting off in goal with Altay Bayindir. I mean, like, what more can I say? I mean, the man cost us the game. Simple as that. He cost us the game. Very, very poor. And it was not good enough. It wasn't good enough. But before that yes, it ultimately decided the game. That there wasn't a whole lot to go off of, really. Oh my gosh, my screen. StreamYard is moving mad. It's moving mad. Bear with us here, ladies and gentlemen, for this. But yeah, Bayindir in goal. We need a goalkeeper, man. We need a goalkeeper. I can't do Onana and Bayindir for another season. I can't do it. My mental health can't do it. For all I had to sit through and suffer from last season, I cannot. I can't. I cannot for the life of me. I can't do it, man. But Bayindir, it's mad. I will give him a 3.5. And I don't normally do 0.5s, but it's between 3 and 4. I think 4 is too high. But still trying to be somewhere where I know Drew gave him a 3, but I'll go give him a 0.5 because bar that he didn't have that much to do after that. Into the centre back slots, I'll go with Lenny Euro. For me, wasn't bad. He wasn't dreadful, but he didn't look like the Lenny Euro that I know. I'd say he didn't do too much wrong. Dealt with Martinelli fairly well. As limited as he is, you gotta play what's in front of you. And I thought Lenny Euro done well. I thought Lenny Euro done fairly well with that. So I will give Lenny Euro a what? I'll give Lenny Euro a 6. Average by his standards. I'll give Lenny Euro a 6. Delict. honestly, one of my contenders for man of the match. One of my personal contenders for man of the match. Again, bear with me here. I'm trying to sort out my the streamer background in it. But yeah, Matthias de Ligt. I mean, look, the amount of hate that this guy gets is absolutely incredible. It really is. That the hate that this guy gets is simply, honestly, it's mind blowing to me. The amount of criticism that this guy gets just because he's not sexy on the ball. This guy's a defender. This guy won a Golden Boy award when he was at Ajax. And no, it's not just Ajax hype. This player is unbelievable. I like him in that central centre back role. Especially with good for the leadership and all that. This guy's a leader. This guy is a leader. This guy does not get the credit that he deserves. He absolutely does not. But Matthias de Ligt today, I mean, from yesterday, absolutely outstanding. Pocketed Gyökeres, which at ease. He troubled them a few times, but there wasn't really too much though to go off of. But just really and truly, very, very, very good yesterday. I will give Matthias de Ligt a 7.5. I thought he was very good. Luke Shaw 6, just average, fairly average. Done well with Saka, dealt with him fairly well, locked him up. I'll put him in his back pocket. But wasn't on the ball, reading the game. Luke Shaw never had a problem with it. But when this guy has to go forward, at left back, left wing back, no. But left sided centre back, is going to be where he is best in the system. So yeah, Luke Shaw fairly average. I'll give him a 6. Dalot, absolutely dreadful. What on earth did he offer in this game? Why was he chosen ahead of Ahmad? Why? Like the amount of times that Mbeumo got the ball, and there was many times where there's no support coming down the right hand side, overlapping, and when it did with the cross, the cross couldn't hit a barn door. It's absolutely mental. Dalot couldn't cross a fucking road. Just I don't want to see this again, but I fear that I am going to see this again with Dalot. It's not great. It's really, really, really not great. But Diogo Dalot, he was poor. I'll give him a 4. Not good. Very, very poor. Dorgu, I'd probably say it's quite the opposite. Very, very good. From Patrick Dorgu. I liked a lot of what I saw from this player. Had a great preseason, hit the post, very unlucky, but offered a lot going forward. Done very, very, very well. I'm very pleased with this performance. I'll give him a 7. I'll give him a 7. Very, very pleased with Dorgu. Midfield player Casemiro. You know what? Fair play to Cas because he done well. I'll give him a 6. Controlled the midfield, despite the legs being a bit gone. Still done very, very, very well. For what he could do in the system. So Casemiro, I will give him a 6. The captain Bruno Fernandes wasn't the worst player on the pitch, but just again, actually, no, I take it back. No, he was arguably the worst player on the pitch because what did he do? Try to spam long balls and all that. People are going to say, "Oh, but he's not playing in the 10. Oh, but if he was playing in the 10, you know what everyone's going to be saying. Oh no, he wasn't playing in a deep line position. Make up your minds." Like I don't understand with this player. It's always picking and choosing when certain things and agendas apply. Why? In my opinion, we should have sold this guy to Saudi in the summer, and everyone's going to say, "Oh no, but Brutus the savior without him." Blah blah blah. We've had our 2 worst finishes, or no, not 2, 3 worst ever finishes in the Premier League, with him being either a main part or focal point of the team, or one of the captain or vice captains of this team. No, what did he do in this game? Did he turn up? Where was Bruno? Where was he? No, I'm sorry, but no. No, 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 no. 4. I'll give him a 4. Actually, no, I'll give Binder a 3. I'll give Bruno Fernandes a 4. Because, again, just not good enough, man. Not good enough. You're the captain of this football club. My expectations of the captain of Manchester United Football Club, exceeds everybody else on that pitch. It's a broken record, I'm sick and tired of saying it with Bruno Fernandes. I really, really am. No, the system doesn't help, but him being shoehorned into the system. But again, I'm really, really, really just sick of it. Sick of it. Sick of it. Sick of it. So Bruno, I'm sorry, but poor. 3.5. I'll give him a 4. Into the front three, Brian Mbeumo on the right hand side making his debut. I actually really liked what I saw from him. I actually did. He definitely doesn't look like he's match fit, which of course that will come in time. But I really liked seeing what he done. Ball to go from Calafiori. He cooked Calafiori, absolutely cooked him. And I thought Mbeumo done a fairly good job. I'll give him a 6.5. Actually, I'll give him a 7. Mason Mount. But wasn't the worst on the pitch, but you don't know what I think of this player. Mason Mount, again, he's just going to be put in a shift. He puts in a shift. He works hard for the lads. He's a good lad. Gives 110%. Runs around a lot, and that's it. But he didn't have a focal point when he was up front. He was just making runs in behind. Wasn't really dropping deep, showing for the ball. Wasn't really connecting. Just poor. Very, very, very poor from Mason Mount, but he wasn't the worst. I'll give him a 5. Up front, Cunha, probably my man of the match, and he's going to be a fan's favorite. He's going to be a fan's favorite because this guy absolutely terrorized Ben White, gave Timber so much trouble as well. Gabriel couldn't cope. Declan Rice couldn't cope with them. Also, Spine couldn't cope with Cunha, and he was very, very, very impressive for me. And he showed in 90 minutes, why he is exactly what we need. And I said for ages, he reminds me of Arsenal version of Alexis Sanchez. The personality, the hunger, the desire, the winning, the winningness mentality of this guy. Looks like the kind of that wants to drag us back to where we belong, back on our perch. Very, 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 very happy with this signing, and he's already one of my favorite players straight away. He's a joy to watch as well. Very aesthetically pleasing on the eye when he's on the ball. This guy was doing nothing but causing problems for Arsenal, though. So huge shouts and big up to Matheus Cunha. I felt sorry for him starting up front. Yes, he can play there, but I don't want to see that. I don't want to see it ever again unless we're really, really need to rotate and we're in an injury crisis. I don't want to see that again. Put him back on the left-hand side where he belongs, please. Because when he was there, he done well. So yeah, Matheus Cunha, I will give you an 8. You're probably the best player on the pitch. My man of the match. Substitutions. Ahmad came on 7.5 straight away and just showed, in every metric, whether it's defending, attacking, crossing, why, he should be starting ahead of Diogo Dalot every single day of the week. In this right wing back role, brilliant from Ahmad, and yeah, also took a few took like 5 steps backwards. They were petrified of him. So yeah, big up to Ahmad Diallo every single time. He gets a 7.5. Next, Benjamin Sesko off the bench. Around 25 minutes to play. It's kind of hard to really judge a player for 25 minutes, but as a decent touch. Done decently well in trying to facilitate and linking with Cunha and Mbeumo. But obviously it will take him time. He's not had a preseason with us, so we'll see what happens. But I'm really excited to see Benjamin Sesko, and hopefully he'll start the next match, our next game, this upcoming weekend. So fairly average. I'll give him a 6. Manuel Ugarte. How many times have I talked about this guy? Manuel Gallagher. This guy and his passing is simply dreadful. Simply dreadful. Tried to give Havertz an assist. I don't know what that I don't know what that was all about, but poor, 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 poor. Um, we need a midfielder badly, 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 badly. Seriously, um, I can't see Ugarte starting every single week because this midfield will be dead if it does. He's a squad player at best, but we're stuck with him. Dan Ashworth, yeah, yeah, you need to go to a footballing court of law for spending £60 million on this guy. Absolutely criminal deal for this player. So unbelievably limited. If it's not a backwards or sideways pass, which then again he proved he couldn't even pass backwards because he played straight to Kai Havertz. But typically, if it's not a backwards or sideways pass, less than 5 yards, this guy can't do anything. And that shot in the second half, oh my days. I think that just showed everything you need to. I think that just said everything about Ugarte, man. Absolutely awful. 3. How come we got no minutes in a game where we need a goal? We bring Ugarte on it instead of Kobe again to accommodate Bruno. I just can't be bothered with it. But yeah, Kobe gets a 3. I mean, no, not Kobe. Sorry. Ugarte gets a 3. Harry Maguire, Amorim'S super sub forward again, but I'm not gonna. Just gonna give him a 5. Didn't have enough time. Lastly, Ruben Amorim. Yeah. This guy has about like a month or 2 months to prove to me that he can turn things around. Because I'm not convinced. That starting 11, I never want to see the starting 11 ever again. Ever again. Ever again. If I see Dallo and Mount start again at Ahmad and another actual attacker, whether it's a Xerxes, whether it's a Sesko, yeah, more questions are going to be asked. But yeah, Ruben Amorim, I will say the football has improved. I will say the football has definitely improved. However, so help me if I see starting 11 again, I'm going to be fuming. But at least he tried to make the changes straight away when he could. But Ahmad on very early, so definitely try to rectify the mistakes. So I'll give him credit there. But just so unconvincing, man. So unconvincing. And if I have to see Ruben Amorim crouched on the ground one more time, looking down at the ground, looking like he's praying for dear life, I'm sick and tired of seeing that. I'm sick and tired of seeing that. Because it shows lack of mentality. I'm sick and tired of seeing that. So help me. But Ruben Amorim just it's just another loss, isn't it? It's not the way to start the season, but it's the first game of the season. So I guess I'll give him a 5 anyway, isn't it? But before I end this off, next match away at Fulham, I need to see a different team. I need to see a different starting 11. As I mentioned, but yeah, there's been your post-match, your solo post-match reaction. This has been your host Daveye, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone, and peace.